Checkmate, checkmate, and once again checkmate. This is how you're supposed to play chess, and you can do it with the aggressive openings I'm about to show you. We'll also rank them based on risk and reward. The fried liver attack. At this point every living soul has heard about this opening, but it's great actually, because if they blunder, you're gonna crush them, and if they know how to defend this, you lose literally nothing. So this opening has no risk, and has a decent reward if they fall for your trap. It deserves no less than B tier. The Halloween Gambit. You sacrifice a knight, and then you pray that it's your opponent's first time playing chess. Even though this is a fun opening, the risk outweighs the reward. If they defend properly, you'll be down a 9 for the rest of the game. D tier. Intercontinental Ballistic Missile Gambit. This one is interesting, because you'll be relying on human psychology. Let me show you. You open with your knight. If they play d5, you play e4. This looks like a blunder, well, because it is, so your opponent will always take this pawn. Now you play knight g5, which threatens to win the pawn back, so your opponent will activate their knight, and defend the pawn at the same time. Now you play d3, this will make your opponent happy, because they don't have to worry about defending this pawn anymore. So they will take your pawn, you recapture with your bishop. Now that they're up a pawn, they want to play safe, so they will push your knight away with h6. Now we fork their queen and rook. In their eyes that's just a free knight, but after they capture, we play bishop g5, and we win their queen. This is a proven concept that works most of the time. You're only risking one pawn, so the risk is pretty low, but the reward is huge. Regardless of that, this opening doesn't deserve S tier, since higher rated players won't fall for this. A tier. The Vienna Gambit. In this position we gambit the f-pawn. They shouldn't take this pawn, since it's bad for them. But most of the time they can't resist a free pawn. This allows us to push their knight back. They have no development and we're dominating. If you're still not convinced that this opening is great, I'll show you one of the aggressive traps. Our pawn is blocking their development. So they play d6, we play d4. After they capture, we give them a check with our bishop. The best move for them is to block with the pawn, because while we move our bishop, they get tempo to win another pawn. This also attacks our knight, but we don't care. Bishop f4, if they take our knight, it's over for them. This entire time the engine was giving us an advantage, so it's safe to say there's no risk. And the reward is certainly big. This opening gets the S tier. The Englund Gambit. After they play d4, we play e5. They capture our pawn, so we fight to win it back, but they defend. Now we hit them with this check. They have to find this move specifically, everything else loses. Now we try to win their rook, while secretly hoping they will play bishop c3. On the first glance this move looks good, it attacks our queen and protects their rook. But here comes bishop b4, this pins their bishop. They can't grab our bishop because then they lose their rook, so they play this natural looking move. We trade bishops, and just when they think they're safe, we checkmate them. The problem with this opening is this: all they have to do is play knight c3 in this position, and the engine gives them a +2 advantage. But let's be realistic, it's only +2 if white plays perfectly from this point on. We're actually equal material wise. There's definitely risk, but the reward isn't bad either. I'll put this one in C tier. The wayward queen attack. You're gonna come out with your queen early and try to trick your opponent. You can win a rook, or even deliver a checkmate, but this only works against complete noobs. So if you play this, you'll just help your opponent develop with tempo. Now you're just left with a vulnerable queen. It's a boring opening that provides zero reward. F tier. This was a quick tier list because I've got a part 2 coming soon. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss it. In the meantime, check this out.